Hello friends, I made this for. My name is Lauren, and if you've never been here before, hi, hello. I am the type of person who likes to do readings, and that's why you're here, so that's why we're gonna do a video today. If you're a returning subscriber, hi, hello, welcome back. I hope everyone's Scorpio season is reaching its most comfy conclusion. I hope that you are kind of really just kind of finding your way home in this time, settling in as we deepen our connection to the dark time of the year. And of course, transform into the mutable energy of Sagittarius, which is why we are here today for a little reading about Sag season. So roll up your sleeves, get out your water, whatever might be calling for you, bring it in, let it be, let it consume you. I want to just do a quick pull on Sagittarius. That of course happens, the sun enters Sag on the 22nd this month of November 2023. And so this season is always it feels like a big jumping off point to me, because we are kind of running through this last bit of the autumnal fall kind of vibes and eventually enter into Capricorn. Sagittarius is also represented in the Tarot as Temperance. So for this season, I highly recommend that you connect with that card, maybe pull it out of your deck, put it on your altar, meditate with it, those sort of things. Also over on Patreon, which some of this is free to access over there, but of course you can support me if you wish to. But we have some creative prompts, and I believe there is a video on this page about connecting with Sagittarius energy through the tarot and those sort of things. So if you're looking for prompts to connect, if you are looking for a ritual, feel free to check those out. Sagittarius is often associated with the teacher, and I think that's a really powerful way of looking at Sagittarius. My Mars is in Sagittarius. I feel like that makes a lot of sense. I mean, I'm a teacher full time, so that energy really resonates with me. But of course, another thing you can do around this time of year is check out your own chart and see where is that energy for you, right? So this is an interesting time of year, a time to light those fires that keep us warm. I love that the mutable energy of fall is a fire sign, because it is kind of what we need to grasp onto as we enter this dark period, as we enter into the shortest days of the year, and kind of connect with that in a way that is nourishing rather than depleting, right? So as always, this is a general pull. If you resonate with it as I share it, great. If it means something different for you, please let me know. I'd love to hear how you are taking in the message, because through each of us, words hit differently. Cards hit differently. Our connection is different and unique. So I take what supports, leave what doesn't, and let's see what does Sagittarius season have in store for us. What is the medicine card for this Sagittarius season? Kind of our anchor card. Our anchor card is Six of Wands. So for me, an anchor card is, okay, what's the overarching theme? And of course, as always, this is with the caveat, as I said before, if this means something different to you, listen to your heart and what that is coming through for you, right? Um, with Six of Wands, we are invited to kind of revel in our victories. Um, Knowing that this is in the middle of the suit, one thing to keep in mind is this is not, we're at the top of the hill and we've conquered it all, but we're on our way and we need to acknowledge what we have accomplished and acknowledge where we can also grow. Where are our strengths and how can we uphold those? Now, in this interpretation of the Six of Wands, we don't see the people in the crowd. And I think that is kind of brings it back to we can be the man on the horse. We can be this person on the horse. We are the ones who deserve to feel good about our accomplishments. With it being in the wands, this might be an area where we are having to use a lot of creativity. This also might be something where we are just, it's our soul's passions, our projects that keep us going. Maybe it is stepping into a new role at work. Maybe it is just acknowledging that you've kept up with a workload that is overwhelming a lot of the time, but you haven't broken down. Or even if you did, which is totally fine, break down if you need to, babe. It was not just all terrible. It was because you were pulling maybe more weight than everybody else. And of course, please don't do that. Take care of yourself. Like, drink some water, bitch. Take a nap. Please. But take a nap knowing and drink the water knowing you have gone through it. We are at the sixth. This sixes to me also, depending on the suit, can feel like a rest. They can feel like structure. Much like fours, because there is stability in the number. There is this evenness, like thinking about legs on a table or a chair. Because for me, at least, I look at the expansion contraction within a suit, and this is expansion. This is ability to take up space and feel good about what you've accomplished, regardless of how perfect or imperfect the final result or how far you might be on the journey. This Sagittarius season, take a second to acknowledge how far you've come, even if it's just getting off out of bed and onto the couch. Maybe it's just taking a shower. Victory has been had in that moment, okay? So that does deserve some appreciation, and of course appreciation for yourself, babe. Feels so good, babe. You're so good, babe. But yeah, so Six of Wands, embracing our sacred joy, our sacred work, and what we have accomplished in that work. The world is not perfect. We will never stop growing, but sure as fuck do you know that it isn't all doom and gloom, and it's not all struggle. So that, I think, is important to acknowledge. Let's see, what else? What are we here to learn in this moment of breath? What are we here to learn in this rest, this stop, this moment of reflection? What is just something to take from this experience this season? King of Cups, a mastery of emotions and emotional intelligence, a mastery of understanding ourselves and our inner waves. When I see kings, I kind of see like we have gone from the student, that is the page, to the teacher, the professor, which perfect for Sag season. We have learned something to the point that we can share the knowledge of it. We are no longer just learning. We are always learning, of course, but the idea is we are learning, we have learned so much. We have a foundation that is worth sharing, honestly. And I think that's a really important part with this king is we can acknowledge the work that we've done and the power that that work has done, and allow ourselves to say, yeah, I am not the child I once was. I am not the student I began as. I understand myself. And of course, with cups, I think of the subconscious, the emotional, the heart. So this is a deep understanding of who we are on those levels, of an emotional intelligence. When I see this card, I think strong emotional intelligence. We understand what makes us tick and also what we need to do in order to keep things going without freaking out, right? I actually was just reading some intentions that I set for the Virgo new moon, and it was all, one of the things that came up in my intentions that I was setting for myself is learning how to stay calm even when my emotions are big, and like mastering that deeper. And I feel like one thing with Sagittarius season is we might be doing that on our own levels in our own ways. Again, we might not be perfect, but it is important to maybe acknowledge that, hey, I'm handling things better than I used to. I'm making some strides. And I think that's really important to maybe hone in on and understand about yourself more, because emotions get heightened during this time of year. The lack of fucking sunshine is tough, babes. So allow yourself to reflect and think about what supports you best in being your best self. What do you need maybe more of right now in order to keep your fucking calm instead of blow up on those who love you or are just trying to support you or aren't trying to piss you off but are just rubbing you the wrong way? Let's end this little reading with this. How can we step into that King of Cup role deeper? What is going to help us step into the King of Cups this season? The Hanged One. Release a certain level of control. I was actually just having a conversation with a friend last night about this. When you're hyper vigilant, and I speak from experience, we were kind of going back and forth about this. Hypervigilance in the go, 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 like trying to survive mode, where you're trying to make sure you're taking care of everything and keeping on top of everything and being like on edge, actually puts you at a big disadvantage when it comes to the work that you do, your relationships, like all of this. And I speak from experience. This is something that I really had to learn. And I want to give the caveat of letting go of control is not always a matter of like, I just don't care, I'm calling out of work, da 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 da. No, that could be insane. That could be absolutely catastrophic and a terrible idea. But it does mean that we need to maybe look at our nervous system and understand with a deeper relationship of how is your nervous system activated? How do you what are the tools that you need to not be activated, to not be upset and triggered by something, and just managing one's own emotions and recognizing when our thoughts are not reflective of the reality we're in. So for example, thinking that someone might be mad at you at work and out to get you, and maybe they aren't. Maybe they're just in a bad mood, right? This can look so different depending on different things and who you are and what you're going through. But a mastery of emotions and the self comes from an understanding that the world is bigger than you. That you are not the center of everybody's world, and you're certainly not the center of everyone's thoughts, feelings, and ideologies. Like, not everyone is out to get you. Not everyone is there to support you either, but you don't have to be hyper vigilant. And one thing that I think will help is take stock of the victories in front of you. Take stock of the victories in front of you. So, and acknowledge where you can understand yourself better and manage yourself better, your emotions, how you feel. Maybe that means taking mindful time off or mindful time away from screens, mindful time to yourself in doing practices that actually nourish you, like meditation, naps, yoga, and just like being still and allowing your nervous system to have a reset, because that's going to be the biggest fucking win, is a nervous system reset, so that you can really feel empowered. You need to feel empowered, right? And that will allow you to not feel like I have to control the situation. I have to go out of my way to do this, do that. Releasing control might look like a lot of different things, but I think sometimes releasing control means acknowledging that our hypervigilance is actually a detriment to us. And one thing to keep in mind is that our brains are programmed by our traumas to a certain extent. So when we experience something, we might trigger a response because that worked in the past for our survival. I feel like this hanged one is a reminder that we can let go of certain patterns that were once there to help us, because we have better tools, we have better coping skills, and that's the fucking victory, man. It doesn't matter who hurt you or why, as long as you, I mean, it does. Fuck those people. But at the same time, being mad about it's not going to help. Instead, getting better and feeling better in your heart, your soul, your body, that's the greatest win. And I think that is going to be a big lesson for a lot of us going back to see family, or just kind of the pressure of the holidays and this season of the year. Come into that emotional intelligence, knowing you're doing what's best for you, not giving someone what they want, or like holding like every single person who's ever hurt you their feet to the fire. Like sometimes we have to know when to hold them, when to fold them. And part of that is simply releasing your control over someone else's perception of you and someone else's like thoughts about you. That's not your business. I mean, we should always try to be our best selves, sure. But if someone is just kind of like blowing you off, it's not your responsibility to make them believe in you. You ultimately are responsible for your own abilities, right? It's not always easy, and it's certainly, like, I struggle from mental illness. I'm always very upfront about that. But take time this season to think about the wins, acknowledge where you have grown, and maybe become a expert in who you are and what you need as well-being goes, and allow everything else to fall by the wayside, because we cannot have it all, we cannot control it all, and that is okay. That is part of life and this journey. So I hope this was helpful. I hope you have a great Sag season and holiday. May it bring you nothing but magic. And make sure to check out the links down below if you feel called. That's where you can find my Linktree has my Patreon in it. There are free prompts through there that you can just access. For the month of November, our theme for November this month is it is healing. I just had to double check. It is healing. So if you want to check it out, feel free, but no expectations, because I love you. I hope you're doing well. And until next time, bye-bye.